Thank you very much. I am really very humbled to be here with so many incredible presenters. My mic is on. I've got a nice little green button. Do I have a dead battery? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So thank you. Why is that going backwards? Yes. I'm not pushing. Go back to the beginning. I do this for a living. Start it again. Thank you. Okay, so thank you again. Some fantastic folks.
Maybe you should go shorter.
No, I'm not. See, not me. Doesn't like me. What else is there?
What's that?
Here we go. I really actually. Okay.
I'm going to walk in the back and backed up. Cool. So you said what time?
What I'd like to talk about today is something that's very tactical, very right in front of us, very much something that's part of our community. What we're seeing today is, in many places in the world, we're seeing very much a return to actually hands-on work. Yeah. We're seeing a hands-on, people actually getting their fingers dirty again. They're going back to farming, they're going back to community efforts, they're going back to building things, working with their hands, building those stone fences that, you know, anybody who grew up on a farm will tell you those stones just grow out of the field like by magic. That's what they are. Those fences. So, but what's happening is we're starting to see community workspaces, community workshops, because so many people who have been craftsmen, who have been people who built things for so many years, have become rarer, and the cost to do that has become very, very high. So what we've started to see are what we call makerspaces. They're community workshops. They're places where people can come together and learn how to make things, and actually, once again, pick up a tool, put it in your hands, and create. These places are popping up all over the world. They've started in many places. Germany was one of them. They've been around here in the US for many, many years. What they are is a place where you may have some common interest. We've often had places that have common interests, electronics clubs or woodworking clubs or those kinds of things. Well, what these makerspaces are starting to become is these places where all these things are coming together. So you have a community. And we've heard today about a bunch of different kinds of communities. And what these places are is a place where I can go and work as somebody who's got some talent or no talent at all. And I can learn from the people around me. Yes? Okay. Back up. So what is a makerspace? It's a place where people come to learn. It's a place where people come to teach. As I believe Jim said, don't stop learning. The day you stop learning is the day you stop having a future. The day you stop teaching, I will also argue, is the day you stop sharing a future. There are places where you can go and explore. You can learn new things. You can show people the things you've learned. Build engineering, build new projects, build new things, and have exploratory. So you can show things to the next generation, and show things to your children. They originated, as we said, places called hackerspaces. They're community workshops. They might have anything you can imagine. Biochemistry. Something's on play. How about you take care of that and I'll go next slide, as much as I need. I work for a guy who's $34 billion and he has to say next slide all the time, so I'll emulate him. It's not me. No, back wall.
Next one.
Back wall. There you go. So these places can have almost anything. Woodworking, metalworking, biochemistry. You name it. If there's something that interests you, there's a hackerspace or a makerspace that has it. There's a fantastic and fascinating one in California where you can learn to do some gene sequencing. Yeah. And it's a lab. You can use it. Just pay your dues. You can go to the one of you down on Troy, do woodworking or 3D printing or use your imagination. If you can imagine it, these are the places to come and make it. Who and why are they? Excellent. So these are people who have contributed to the community, who contribute to the life around them. Yeah, it's not just me. So Linus is the guy who created the Linux operating system, so you may know our Android. Next slide. There's folks who Okay. So what these places are they're places to share. They're places to build new things. They originate out of perfect. That's a great slide.
Machine cooking.
Wow. Somebody might have thought. All kinds of things go on in these places, like I said. Learning is the primary example. What we've done, myself and a number of other folks have done, is we've learned how to build makerspaces. We've built the Technology Center of Gravity in Troy. I'm an entrepreneur. I've started over a dozen companies in my 35 years in the industry. But this one is the one that excites me the most. My wife likes to tell me it's the one that's never going to make me any money. But it's the one that gives a chance to directly give back to the community, to directly give back and improve the lives of the people around us. By exchanging that information, by exchanging that knowledge, by learning and learning from each other. It doesn't matter what it is. We all have something we understand and know pretty well, right? Whether it's anything we've heard about today. These are places to share those things. These are places to build those things. Learn about something new. Learn about some electronics. Learn about robots. Learn about biochemistry. What would you guys think is the most common thing that people want to do in the biochem lab? Genetics, chemistry experiments, mixing up things that go small. Cooking's a great one. Beer. Beer is the beer. Beer and wine. After all, the kitchen is the original chemistry lab. Okay. So we've got these abilities to do these things. Self-replicating 3D printers and robots. Those kinds of things. What do they do? They're places to share this creativity work. And what we've learned is by doing that, we can enhance the community around us. What we've done at the Tech Valley Center of Gravity is to help incubate and start new companies and inspire them and entrepreneurs, whether you're a hobbyist or an entrepreneur or an ongoing business. This is a place to make those things happen. One of our incredible success stories is a company called Microorganic. What do we see as a big problem in the world? But wastewater and how to treat wastewater, particularly where we've stripped the trees. What Microorganic has learned to do is take wastewater and bacteria and produce clean, potable, drinkable water and electricity. So now, if you're a Caribbean island, you can treat your wastewater without importing electricity, without burning those trees, without burning that coal, without even needing to harvest the sun. Another company that we've helped to start, Aquamunia, takes that fracking wastewater. Everybody goes, oh my God, fracking, it's all evil. And all the hydrogeology that's involved there. And they take the fracking mud, they've devised a way to taking a 40-foot long truck, fracking mud in one end, and at the other comes potable, drinkable water. These are the kinds of exciting things that happen here. These are the kind of really neat things, as well as simple stuff like building model airplanes, building a table, electric cars, which, for those of you who know, was one of the earliest electric cars made. Right here. Steinmetz, Edison, Tesla. Okay. So where are these places? They're all over the world. When we started principally in Europe and North America, but they're all over. We recently worked on a project to compartmentalize these and build these I can build a makerspace in 3 40-foot ISO containers and ship it anywhere in the world. And it can be there in under 24 hours. That's great, right? Well, think about it from a job creation perspective. What if I send one of those to Haiti? What if I send one to the next disaster zone? What if I send it to Nepal right now? What if I send it with a team? That team's job is to learn, is to take the lessons that the first responders on the ground are learning. How to use the tools better, how to create the tools, where to get the tools from. And then we send them again to the next disaster zone, the next place. And they give that feedback to the manufacturers of the tools and the people who use the tools in better ways to do it. Go ahead, Karen. So this was the slide about a year and a half old now. There's probably another half dozen dots in that map, just in the last 18 months. Boston University Group, these guys are student run, they do some really neat stuff. Next one. The Artisans Asylum. Does anybody have any idea what rent is in Cambridge, Massachusetts? Our fair city. It's not cheap, right? These guys have 50,000 square feet in Cambridge. And they break even. And they help entrepreneurs, they help create many, many businesses. The Center of Gravity got a $50,000 grant from the county and the city. Standard for grant is $25,000 creates one job. That's the unwritten standard. We took $50,000, turned that around, used that. We figured to date we've created over 30 jobs. We've helped over 17 companies raise over $3.5 million in venture capital. By teaching people, by sharing experiences, by looking at new ways to do things and new ways to solve old problems. There are very libraries. I don't know if there's one here, but the library where I grew up now has one. So you're seeing these. It's about knowledge. It's about sharing knowledge. And knowledge of the human population doubles every 12 hours. Boy, we're really in trouble. If the database just doubles every 12 hours, well, that's an old problem. But libraries have been the repository of knowledge for so many years. Knowledge is now just becoming much more than paper and phones. And I realize I'm the only thing standing between you and here. West Park Public Library, you're going another one we've done in Southern Connecticut. And so, how do you create these things? That's the gesture. So, it's not very hard. Yes, exactly. That was computers giving birth. Although you're supposed to grab head first, but yeah, let's go down, please. The medic can be really get scared. So we need people who are interested. You need people who can build a set of communities. You need people who can come together and share their experiences. Who are not afraid to say, I don't know how to do this. How do I do it? They're not afraid to listen. You might not be doing that quite right. They're not expensive. They can be as simple as a place where people come together and talk. It can be a coffee shop where you share ideas. Or it can be a place that has millions of dollars of equipment. It's places where you can encourage restoration of old things or build completely new things. There's lots of grant money out there. There's lots of funding sources to be found, industrial sources for big companies and small companies and individual donors. And the next slide. Doesn't matter. There's all kinds of places you can go. So, makerspaces are really places that are appearing all over the globe to give everybody an opportunity to learn and share and innovate. They're not hard to start up. You just need the community. You can build this all together. They fit really well into a university world, but it's not required. You just have to have a culture of sharing and learning and understanding. And you can start one anywhere. We've been asked, and we've helped start them in Newport, Rhode Island, in the Raleigh neighborhood in North Carolina. We're working with folks here in Schenectady. We've worked with folks in Albany. We're trying to get this area expanded. And we're also focusing on some other neat things, one of which is a section of that makerspace that's solely devoted to kids. It's aimed at getting kids to think about hands-on, to think about how to build things, to tinker with this stuff and actually get it built, and actually get your fingers dirty. You know, how many of us sat through home ec and shop class? That's all but one did. Well, guess what? It's back. Just happens it's different. So this is a place to actually go ahead and make those things happen. I think that's about it.
Thank you. Let's have one or two questions, and then we're going to go from here. Yes, in the back.
Yes.
As a college education is becoming increasingly out of reach for most of the population, how do you, that's really due to systemic corporate inequality forces. How do you see makerspaces progressing and evolving in response to that?
Great question. What we're seeing, and part of our mission, and what I think part of every makerspace mission should be, is to help educate the community in places and ways that the communities are interested in being educated. We've secured some grant funding, and part of our mission is to hold classes to help people learn things. In our case, it's microcontrollers, or some particular woodworking technique, or some particular weapon technique, or additionally, one of the things that you discover, that I certainly discovered as an entrepreneur, is the first thing you need when you start a company, you hire your first employee. What do you need now? You need an HR department that's probably about 6 people deep, and you need an attorney, and you need a lawyer, and you need all this stuff. We can help, and that's something that they can help with as well. And the lessons, I mean, how many of you actually use what you learned in school on a daily basis? Okay, that's pretty good. That's a lot more than I thought. I actually have used calculus in the last 18 months. But, yeah, it only took 8 years. But what I would say is it allows folks who've been through what it takes to make these things happen, share those experiences much more directly, and shorten the educational cycle down.
Thank you, sir.